Good morning. Thank you, and thank you very much for having me. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to talk about our fantastic school here that we have here in Bangalore. I think Indian education system is excellent. Actually, all right, it's a very, very good education system. It's been here for very many years. I think because it's been here for many, many years, it's a little bit set in its ways. We're in the 21st century now, and so for the 21st century, the world is changing and has changed around us, and so the different skills that are required are very different from what they were when I was growing up all those many years ago in England, and in particular the aspect of being able to think on your feet, to have the correct skills to deal with an ever-changing and evolving marketplace. That's really important. And I think a move away from simply sitting down and recitation of facts and knowledge, that's not what's needed in the 21st century. What's needed in the 21st century is critical thinking, is being able to cut through the various marketing and fake news that we get from all sides, to find out what the truth is, and the skills to be able to cope and adapt with that 21st century environment. So I think the education is excellent. The teachers are some of the most dedicated professionals I've seen around the world. I think there just needs to be a little bit of a tweak towards the 21st century international skills which are required for our students today. I think the key difference is for the international curriculum is that it's centered around the student developing their own independence. For example, actually just a minute ago, I was in our Monday assembly. I referred back to last week, very happy Monday last week when it was Indian Independence Day. And in international schools, it's about the students developing their own independence, that actually our grade 12s in a year time will be graduating to go to the best universities in the world. That will be their Independence Day. And so that idea to equip our students with the skills that they need to be independent and the knowledge that supports those skills that they need to be independent puts the students at the center of the learning. For example, we have our students who go on and do their own sort of internships. So I was speaking to one of our grade 12s this morning who sorted out an internship with I want to say Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, it's cryptocurrency. All right, that's an example. So with a cryptocurrency organization. So we have our students take the lead. We have offered them a bespoke education fitted for that individual need. Our international teachers know our students. We have a smaller class to teacher ratio, which means that those individual students can get individual attention, which means that they are guided and supported to become the best that they can be. And that doesn't mean the best that they can be here. That means the best that they can be in the world, because that's what we're looking for. So that's the essence of what makes the difference between an international curriculum compared to the more traditional ICSE teacher writes that the student copies, regurgitates. All right, that's a good way to build up knowledge. However, it's not a good way for students to learn the independence that's so important for them to develop in the 21st century. Yeah, no, absolutely. The important thing is the support that the students get, all right? Because that student will need support, because there will be a difference in expectations. There will be a difference in, by expectations, I mean of the student, of the teacher, and of the teacher of the student. The student will be used to the teacher dictating to them what to do, whereas here is very much the teacher will be expecting the student to participate within that learning process. So it will be a change. It's not a insurmountable change. And what I would say to parents to look for is the support and expertise that the school gives that student. Number one is an awareness of it. All right. Even though we have international teachers here, we're all aware of the difference between it. So we know when we get a student that comes in that we can give them that bespoke, that individual attention to ease that process. We have particular times where we have students can come in for as a bridging program for a couple of weeks beforehand to get used to what the curriculum is, to see how the difference, how it works, to be able to bridge that gap between ICSE or CBSE and the Cambridge curriculum or the IB curriculum. So it's not insurmountable at all. It's important that parents recognize that the school is aware of those needs. And we here at Trio are very aware of those needs. Not just, as I say, academically, with giving the students the support for a bridging program or through individual teachers, but also socially and developmentally. One of the aspects of international curriculum, which you might not see within the ICSE or CBSE system, is that we have a great deal more pastoral support. So, for example, in order to help the transition and in general, all the transitions that students go through at a high school, we have our high school counsellor, Miss Ivy, very experienced practitioner who deals with our students on an individual basis to help out all of their non-academic needs as well as having our university guidance and careers counsellor, Miss Krishna, who's there to help students get to the places where they want to go. So all of these different levels of support are there. And so for parents worried about it, which is understandably, know what questions to ask of your prospective school, and ask, are you aware of this? What factors do you put in place to help this transition? Who's there to look after our student? One of the things that makes us special is every student. I insist that every student gets said hello to every morning before they even start school. I'm always on the school gate saying hello to them. Every student has a homeroom teacher, professionally trained homeroom teacher, who looks after them and welcomes them with a hello every morning. And while that might seem as that's a nice little touch, actually it's very important, because it's how we judge how the students are feeling. So particularly where we've got a new student coming in from a new curriculum, we will all be looking and seeing how they're getting on. And if we see a little bit of doubt, we see some doubts, we see some insecurities, that's where we can go, okay, well, what can we do to address those doubts, address those insecurities? We have it there to help the students. So know what questions to ask and know what answers to expect. We know them. All right, it just sounds a simple thing to do, but we know each and every one of our students. And because we know each and every one of our students, we can help them develop and grow and show care and concern for their well-being. But we support them academically, is why our results are so good, but also non-academically. All right, so we have a homeroom teacher, our high school counselor, our university guidance counselors, and all of our teachers are there looking after our students. And if we see any student or we have any kind of concern for any student that they are feeling, parents who are watching this are presumably of teenage children. You know what teenagers are like, okay? They go up, they go down. They need to have that support, and they need to have that consistency of support. And so we're always there to provide it, whether that's a welcome in the morning to create a safe space where students feel as though their concerns will be addressed, and we make certain that we listen and that we address those students' concerns to create that environment. And then this is the basis. This is the basis for any successful life, any successful school. Students have to be comfortable. They have to be comfortable. And we do that to create the atmosphere in everything that we do. I mean, I really wish people, I always tell people, you want to see who asked that question, just come in and see us. Walk through the gate, walk through the school, see us at lunchtimes. Most schools try and hide lunchtime because that's where all the chaos happens. You won't find chaos here. You'll find calmness. You'll find teachers sitting down with students having lunch together in our fantastic cafeteria. You'll see a real community, and it's that community which gives the essence of our happiness, which is the basis of our success. This is open to everybody. Anybody who's interested in coming to our school, it's absolutely open to anybody, because as I said, kind of hinted at there, this is a great school, all right? And your parents get lots of marketing, of which this is one, let's be honest, of our schools trying to show themselves off as their best. My thing is very, very simple. You come here, you're going to want to send your students here. You visit us, you're going to want to stay, because you will get the idea of what our school is like and the support that students get, and you will see that happiness. So for me, I offer these trial days where students can come in and see what we're like. They can see how they get on. They can see their classmates, their future classmates. They can see our boarding facilities. They can see our program. They live the life for the day to see what they think, whether they would fit in. And from that, they tend to. So these are things that are open to everybody to come along, to have a taste today. Come and see us. We're always welcome to anybody to come into our school because we're confident that, well, this is a fantastic place to learn and a fantastic place for our students and for our parents. Well, parents should have the same expectations that I have and that we have, which is of excellence. All right, everything should be excellent, from the greetings that you get from our 3 levels of security and our security guys on the door as soon as you come in to visit us, from our admissions team to myself to the teachers and the students that you see around the school. You should have the highest of expectations. And that's expectations of behavior, that's expectations of success, of how people are. Because, a school is not just a place where people pass exams, it's a place where character is born. And we are great believers in that we make fantastic young men and women for the future who are going to be global citizens who are going to make this world a better place. So character is at the heart of every do. So for parents coming into school is to have those high expectations. Do your research. Watch videos like this, see websites, go through, get up with a range of questions and be prepared. And be prepared to grill me. I meet all prospective new parents, and it's wonderful. Okay, and it's like an interview process. I'm being interviewed on behalf of the school. Okay, and so grill me, ask me questions, find out exactly what it is that you want, research what you want, what your son and daughter needs, and the best ways in which that can be addressed, and grill me. And I'm confident that once you see that, once you see us, once you speak with me, and once you see our school, and you see how happy our students are, that this will be a place where you will want to come. I think it's there to support. I think one thing that we've learned through e-learning and global scores and academics around the world prove this to be the case, is that e-learning is no substitute for face-to-face teaching. It isn't. You're not going to get a personal support. The teacher isn't going to be able to see what's going on as well as the student. Students can easily hide by turning off their screens. It's not a substitute for face-to-face teaching. What it is, though, however, is it's a great support for that face-to-face teaching. And what it has shown us is that how we can improve and expand upon the offerings that we have within the classroom, that the classroom doesn't just stop within the 4 walls that you're seating in, that it goes beyond that to home, that it goes beyond that to weekends and to evenings. So it's important that teachers in our school, which is what we do, give that support during that time. So that can be ensuring that lessons may be videoed, that can be watched on our managed back system, that it's possible to have extra resources. It's possible to have simpler resources as well, because sometimes that's needed too. So that these are all functional and are all available to extend and deepen the knowledge that has accrued. But let's make no mistake for it, it is no substitute for face-to-face teaching. But it is a fantastic support. So what we've been able to do is bring in the best of both worlds, to have the best face-to-face. We have very, very small class sizes. All of our teachers know all of our students. So we have the very, very best face-to-face lessons, but they are supported by excellent e-learning platforms that we use. Well, as I mentioned before, the key one is expectations, right? We have high expectations of all of our people. All right, staff, students, and families as well when we're in campus, and part of that is we are a community, and that we are a community that supports each other, and so straight away we set up those of our expectations, and that's what we expect our students to behave. As I said, as I mentioned before previously, at canteen time, everybody's eating and drinking together in the canteen for lunchtime and for break time. That's teachers as well as students. So that means that we're always there. All right. When bullying happens, it happens because students are unhappy or because students are unsupervised. They're not unhappy and they're not unsupervised. I'm a very visible principal. My staff need to eat at lunch, so they go off and have lunch, and I walk around the school and I see however everything is. And we make certain that everybody is happy and being constructive in what they're doing. Yes, there will be time when students fall out with each other. This is normal. But what we do is we ensure that is dealt with promptly and appropriately and never escalates into any kind of bullying. We have the support mechanisms of a homeroom teacher. We have the school counselor, who are always there to be able to help and guide students. So whenever we see any problems, and though to be frank, mostly these are all nipped in the bud because we are so professional, we can actually prevent any kind of incidents from happening by our professional staff, by homeroom teachers, myself, and our high school counselor. So that's basically why we know our students, we're around our students, and we are there to support them. And by giving them that support, it takes away the reasons behind any bullying. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's simple. It's community. We're all working together. The trio triangle of families, teachers, students. We all work together. And so what that means is that all of our students know all of our teachers, and all of our teachers know all of our students, which means that we offer a bespoke, individualized educational experience for our students. All right. You can go to many other schools, and that's going to be a bit like going to Marks and Spencer, right? You're going to pay a lot of money and you're going to get good quality, but it's going to be the same for everybody. You come here, it's like going to a tailor's. We will give you your bespoke suit that will fit you and fit your students perfectly. That's what makes us unique. Our admissions are, we like to have a school report, all right, from previous schools, and then based on that report that we see our expectations of that student. All right. To be honest, most of that's not necessarily academic. That's more about personal, all right, because we're about character and about supporting our students grow and develop. So we want to see a student who is going to be able to help and support us within that. So that's why we look for their school reports. Academically, we can see where they fit in. Generally, for our IGCSE, we're pretty much open to anybody who wants to come along. Again, it's what makes us unique. All right, we're not academically selective. All right, we're there to help and support our students. And for me to get a student to succeed is what it's all about. Okay, so that's the first stage. For time of year, the earliest that you can do it for the following year, the better. Okay, so we're now in August. We've been open for a week. For our grade 9s and our grade 11s, it's pretty much coming towards the end of when we're going to be able to accept a new entrant into our school who hasn't already done the curriculum. For grade 10s and 12s, the final year of IGCSE and the final year of the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, unless the student has done the same IGCSEs or same diploma program courses that we offer to the same standard, we won't be able to accept admission. The key admissions is for grade 9 and for grade 11, which start the diploma program and IGCSE, and as soon as possible. What I would advise, if you're a student who's in grade 8 or a family of a student in grade 8 or in grade 10, is to come along and have a look. Try out our trial days, come in and see the school, and get ready to apply for next academic year. If you're in a rush right now, get in there as soon as possible, because it's August the 22nd now, and as time goes by, it makes it much more difficult for students to join existing year, and as their examination years, that becomes increasingly impossible. Thank you very much.